Get ready for the dictation in 3, 2, 1, start. As an interpreter, guardian, and protector of the Constitution, the judiciary checks and curbs violation of the Constitution by the government when they overstep their constitutional limits, violate the basic structure of the Constitution, infringe fundamental rights, or act contrary to law. Power of judicial review has expanded, taking within its ambit the concept of social and economic justice. Yet, while exercising this power of judicial review, the courts do not encroach upon the field marked by the Constitution for the legislature and the executive. As the courts examine legality and validity of the legislation or the governmental action and not the wisdom behind the legislative measure or relative merits or demerits of the governmental action. Neither does the Constitution permit the courts to direct, advise, or sermonize others in the spheres reserved for them by the Constitution, provided the legislature or the executive do not transgress their constitutional limits or statutory conditions. Referring to the phrase, all power is of an encroaching nature, which the judiciary checks while exercising the power of judicial review. It has been observed that the judiciary must be on guard against encroaching beyond its bounds, since the only restraint upon it is the self imposed discipline of self restraint. Independence and adherence to the constitutional accountability and limits while exercising the power of judicial review gives constitutional legitimacy to the court decisions. This is essence of the power and function of judicial review that strengthens and promotes the rule of law. Deepak Mishra, CJ, in Kalpana Mehta's case under the heading Power of Judicial Review had examined several judgments of this court to reflect upon the impressive expanse of judicial power in the superior courts that requires and demands exercise of tremendous responsibility by the court. Thus, while exercising the interpretative power, the courts can draw strength from the spirit and propelling elements underlying the Constitution to realize the constitutional values, but must remain alive to the concept of judicial restraint, which requires the judges to decide cases within defined limits of power. Thus, the courts would not accept submissions and pass orders purely on a matter of policy or formulate judicial legislation which is for the executive or elected representatives of the people to enact. Reference was made to some judgments of this court in the following words. In S. C. Chandra versus State of Jharkhand, it has been ruled that the judiciary should exercise restraint and ordinarily should not encroach into the legislative domain. In this regard, a reference to a three-judge bench decision in Suresh Seth versus Indore Municipal Corporation is quite instructive. In the said case, a prayer was made before this court to issue directions for appropriate amendment in the MP Municipal Corporation Act 1956. Repelling the submission, the court held that it is purely a matter of policy which is for the elected representatives of the people to decide, and no directions can be issued by the court in this regard. The court further observed that this court cannot issue directions to the legislature to make any particular kind of enactment. In this context, the court held that under our constitutional scheme, Parliament and legislative assemblies exercise sovereign power to enact law, and no outside power or authority can issue a direction to enact a particular kind of legislation. While so holding, the court referred to the decision in Supreme Court Employees Welfare Association versus Union of India, wherein it was held that no court can direct a legislature to enact a particular law, and similarly, when an executive authority exercises a legislative power by way of a subordinate legislation pursuant to the delegated authority of a legislature, such executive authority cannot be asked to enact a law which it has been empowered to do under the delegated authority. Stop. Thank you.